is about the exchange between art and science. So in my research and in my teaching, I focus on art-science exchange, and I'm especially interested in artists who engage with the life sciences. I'm trained as a philosopher and civil engineer. So as David, I always like to emphasize that I'm not an art historian. And perhaps it's kind of sad that I ended up as an art historian. Perhaps you can do worse. I'm also, so I have a very much a professional interest in the relation between art and science. I'm also director for the Arts and Genomics Center that is located not very distant from here in the Horleus lab, where we invite artists to work in the lab and do artists in lab projects, as David explains. And there were also some PhD affiliated to the Arts and Genomics Center who wrote actually big books about art science exchange. So my example is this work of Andrew Carney and Richard Wingate, and Richard Wingate being the brain scientist and Andrew Carney the artist. It's rather old, already old work, I think 5-6 years ago. And what I find interesting about this work is that it was really an exchange between the artist and the scientist, in the sense that they both were working on something that you really cannot visualize, or that is a problem to visualize. You know, all the synapses and how the things work in your brain. And I talked to both of them, to Richard and Andrew, and the way they explained to me was that they really cooperated in trying to understand how this was all working in your brain and how to visualize it. And of course, Andrew Carney was doing that from an artistic perspective, and Richard Wingate from a scientific perspective. But still, if you look at the notes, for instance, of Richard Wingate, you see that they kind of influenced each other, how to visualize something which you basically cannot visualize.